Hey people, my name is Valicious and I am going to start a Risk of Rain 2 playthrough with you guys today. As you can see, I have about 157 hours in the game, so I have a decent amount of knowledge. I've also watched a lot of YouTube videos about the game, and I watched a lot of guides and read some on the wiki and stuff, so I have decent knowledge. That said, I don't know everything for sure. And if I ever give any kind of facts that doesn't seem to be correct, you should always double check it on the wiki, because the wiki seems to be the best location for any information. Okay, so I don't want to front load this first episode too much by going through too much information, but then again I want to be able to explain the game for somebody who has never ever played the game before. So we're gonna go through a couple of things before we start the run. This is a fresh profile. I started a run and just made sure that the settings were working fine and whatever. In the game you have a logbook, and well, I guess we should start off with going by what the game is about. So this is a roguelite, meaning that whenever you start the game, you're gonna have to start a fresh new run. We start off with only one character unlocked. As you can see, there's a lot of different characters you can play as, and you unlock these by doing different achievements in the game. So, get to the third stage, complete the first teleporter event 5 times, complete 30 stages, etc, etc. Our goal for this playthrough, to begin with, will be unlocking every character and unlocking the second skin on all of the characters. I will not be going for all of these second abilities, because a lot of them are very, very grindy. We might go for them later, but that won't be like our first goal. We're gonna play every single run on the Monsoon difficulty, which also will make a lot of these really, really hard to unlock, because a lot of these are your regular abilities, and these are alternate abilities that you can use. For an example, the secondary right-click attack here, as you can see. This one is very, very strong, way stronger than this one, I would say. But as you can see, in order to unlock it, we need to kill an overloading worm. We should be able to meet one fine without playing too much, but there's a decent chance that whenever we play on the commando that we won't run into a overloading worm. They're kind of rare, and on a lot of the different characters, a lot of these are very, very hard to get on Monsoon, and basically beg for you to just put the game on drizzle and unlock them that way. Alright, so whenever you start a game, you start with no items, and the only thing you have is your character and the things you unlocked over here. As you progress through the game, you will kill enemies, which will give you gold, and the gold will be used to unlock chests. Inside these chests, there will be items. All of the items do different things, varying from rarity and usefulness. And so on my test run earlier, I picked up one single item. As you can see, you can go into the logbook here, and in the logbook you can check up on the items and see what they do. You can't do this during a run, but what I would suggest you do if you're new to the game is that every run after you unlock a new item is to go into the logbook and double check what it does, because it gives you a brief description when you pick up the item during the game, but the logbook gives you a lot more details. So for an example, bustling fungus, the item I picked up, after standing still for 2 seconds, create a zone that heals for 4.5%, and then it says how much it will give if you stack the items. You can find several of the same item, so you can find 1 or 2 or 3 bustling fungus, up to like 10 or 20 during one run if you're doing really good or really bad, depending on the usefulness of the item. And this will tell you what the item does when you stack it in the gray over here. So one thing that this logbook doesn't tell you is that some of these have different ways of scaling percent. And if you look up the item on the wiki, it will tell you. I'll talk about it as we run over one of those items also. You also get some information on monsters, but you need to get a logbook in order to know about that. You also need to survey different areas, you get information about the characters, you get your longest run, times played, pick percentage, etc. And you also have your challenges over here, which is how you unlock most of the items in the game. So for an example, pick up 10 unique white items, pick up 5 different types of equipment, and so on and so on. You might want to have a quick look through these, because this will give you a lot of clues on how to unlock different strong items in the game. Okay, let's get going. We're on Monsoon, we're using the commando, we don't really have any other character. We're ready. So, the first thing we see here is a challenge of the mountain. This will make the boss harder. So whenever you spawn in on a map, your goal is to find the teleporter, as you can see up in the right corner there. Over time, the game gets harder and harder as you go, so you want to try to find the teleporter quite early. As you can see, it's over there for me. And the longer you take, the harder the next stage will be, and the more expensive chests will be, the harder the difficulty goes. Chests only become more expensive whenever you swap stage, so even though this stage will get harder as the more time we spend on it, the chests on this specific stage will never be more expensive. They will always cost 25. So what we want to do is get as many items as possible in a short time span as possible before going on to the next stage. This is a try shop. You can select one of the 3 items displayed on it. I chose Monster Tooth, which will drop a green healing orb, as you can tell, whenever we're killing monsters. Oh, and we also got a Luna coin. You want to collect these, we'll go over what they do later. There's a lot of stuff coming in the early episode. I'm really sorry, I have to keep on talking a lot while we're doing all of this. That's kind of a bad item. It gives you some energy shield. We'll go over why it's bad later. Alright, so we want to get level 2 real quick, so we need to kill a monster for that. And maybe one more. There's an elite monster over there. You can see it has a buff, and the health bar is a bit thicker, meaning that it has some kind of special effect. This one being ice means that it will drop an ice bubble. And as you can see, we unlocked an achievement by doing that. And now health kits will start dropping in the game. Okay, so we picked up a challenge of the mountain. The first thing we did means that we're gonna have a harder boss fight. In this case, we have 2 different stone titans showing up. I want to break line of sight for that attack. There's a decent chance I'm gonna die here. As a general rule, you want to have 1 or 2 items, maybe 3, and you want to be level 2 on the first stage before activating the portal. It's crucial that you try to do this before 2 or 3 minutes on the stage, because you don't want to spend a lot of time just looking for different chests. If you just spend too much time looking for different chests, the next map is going to be so hard that you're leaning towards the luck of actually finding good items in the chests instead of leaning towards being stronger than the monsters because your level is higher. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and since we're really low on health, because we took the challenge of the mountains, we have 2 bosses, meaning this is gonna take a while, but as a reward, if we manage to defeat these bosses, we're gonna get 2 items instead. The reason why I took the challenge of the mountain, even though we probably will lose doing this, is because it's the first stage, right? Like, we've spent 5 minutes. If we die, that's fine. It's gonna be a bit awkward because it's the first run of the playthrough, but you should be ready to lose a lot during the first few stages. Will I get around? No, okay, we died. Yeah. So, when you're playing on Monsoon, this is gonna happen a lot, especially when you don't have, like, the good abilities unlocked. But we did get an achievement, and I got to go through, like, most of the basic stuff. So as you can see, logbook is now shiny new, and we have 2 different items that we unlocked. So we have the personal shield generator. I won't go into the logbook after every run, by the way. I'll just do it right now to show you that we unlock these different things. I'm gonna try to go through what the items do whenever we pick them up, and whether I personally think it's good or not. Remember, this is what I personally think. Your play style may differ, but to my strats and what I've learned, usually the general, like, I can only teach you how I do, right? I can only teach you my play style, and if you want to change on that, that's fine. But I'm gonna do it my way, and you can decide whether or not that works out for you or not. Okay, so we're gonna go straight into the game again, and I'm gonna try to go through the items this time, because now I don't have to explain all of the very, very basic stuff. Speaking of explaining basic stuff, so as you can see over here, we have a 3D printer, and it displays a sticky bomb. What these do is you can, whenever you have a white item, this, as you can see, this is a white item over here. It has a white outline, a common item, or I just call them white, green, red, etc. And what you can do in these is you can trade. So it takes a random, if we have a couple of white items now, let's say we have a bustling fungus or an energy recharge generator or personal general shield shit item thingy, you can use these, and it will take one random white item from you and make it into a sticky bomb instead. And sticky bomb is kind of a decent item to get on the first stage. We have another one down there, which is attack speed, and that one is gonna be way better than sticky bombs. I'm gonna go ahead and assume. So right now we have level 2. We want to pick up 2 items real quick. I have I'm gonna have to change key bindings in a bit. I have pinging on another button usually. We have a regular chest here. As you can see, we got a stun grenade, chance to stun, not very good. So what I'm gonna do instead is make it into a attack speed. So the soldier's syringe here, as you can see, increases your attack speed by 15%. And I think it scales linearly, I'm not sure. Meaning that it will always give 15%. We got a use item there and equipment. Whenever I press Q, this item is gonna give us a buff for 8 seconds, which gives us 100% critical strike chance. Crits are double damage, as you can see. And the equipment will go on a 1-minute cooldown. Different equipments have different uses, of course, and different cooldowns depending on the item. This one is kind of decent, at least for the first stage, dealing double damage that early. As you can see, the first boss is already down on half HP. As a general rule, you wanna get an idea of what enemy you want to focus whenever you play. You need to get like a kind of a priority list. So for an example, these beetles that are running around here, these only deal melee attacks, so they're not that scary. I can just simply spam jump and they won't really do anything to me. However, the stone giant and these lesser wisps are a bit more scary because they have hit scan lasers, which I need to kind of break line of sight in order to not take any damage from. So we're gonna try to kill some of them so that they don't kill us. We can jump away from the stone giant. They're not as scary as the lesser wisps. So you wanna get kind of a priority list of what monsters you want to focus first in order to survive, right? Because that boss didn't really do too much, as you could see. I could dodge most of the attacks as long as I stayed a bit further away from it. So we could just, yeah, jump around and dodge the attacks and focus on the lesser wisps, because if the lesser wisps do their attack, we can't dodge it. There's no way to dodge it, you have to line of sight them. You can run away from the lasers from the stone giants, but sometimes it doesn't work, it's kind of hard. And as you can see, these lizards over here, they also shoot like a fireball, which is easy to dodge if you just walk away from it. Our teleporter event is over. However, since we have an attack speed printer, I kind of wanna... We got fresh meat there, and we got red whip from the boss. Red whip from the boss, the green item we got. All it does is increases our movement speed whenever we're out of combat. It's kinda okay to get more movement. Getting movement speed is good, but whenever you do an ability, so let's say you dodge roll, this one, you get put into combat, unless they've changed that. It was like that earlier at least, and that removes your movement speed bonus. I think it seems like they kind of fixed it. Yeah, it seems like they fixed it. All right, so we're gonna go on to the next area. You want to try to make sure that you get to the next map within... we missed a unicorn. Within 5 minutes. You don't want to spend more than 5 minutes on a stage. We got another challenge of the mountain. We're gonna take it right away. We also picked up fresh meat earlier. Fresh meat, whenever you kill a monster, you get a buff that gives you 2 flat HP per second. Stacking the item will only give you more duration on the buff. Since it's only 2 HP flat, it's not that good. We used a... I can't remember what they're called. Blood Shrine? Blood Shrine. Over there. That will take away a chunk of our HP and give us gold instead. I did it because getting gold early on this stage is crucial so that you can start unlocking chests. Got gasoline. Gasoline is kind of decent whenever you kill an enemy. Let's do it over here. Actually, I can't because it's dodging me. Whenever you kill an enemy, there's a explosion, and any enemies caught in the explosion will start burning. Here we have a 3D printer for Tri-Tip Dagger. Tri-Tip Dagger is a very strong item. You have a chance to bleed on attacks. And if you're playing a character with high attack speed, like Commando, for an example, you can stack it up very fast. Ow. As you can tell on this monster here, we got almost up to 10 stacks. Bleeding it for a lot of damage. Okay, so I'm kinda juggling whether or not I wanna get some kind of tankiness or if I just wanna chill and get my... I wanna kill the monster, but since it's a challenge of the mountain, starting it right now might kill us. That would be fine, because we're really early in the run. But we also have a lot of bleed right now, so it's kind of a decent run to like stay on, you know? Let's check what this item over here is. I don't think crits affect your bleeds. So these will always drop a equipment item, these boxes, and we got the primordial cube, which makes a black hole, and any enemies that are caught in the black hole will get sucked into it. Really good if you have a lot of gasoline, for an example. Alright, so looks like it's 2 beetle queens as a challenge on the mountain. Since we have a lot of bleed, as you can see, as long as we just stay on one target and stack the bleeds, it dies really, really fast. Whenever you find... Oh, it's 3 of them. Ow, 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 ow. Bleeds are very, very strong. I think it's either 6 or 7. It depends on the character's proc chance, proc efficiency. I don't keep track of all of the characters' different stats like that. But it's either 6 or 7 to have 100% chance to bleed on every hit for most characters. So I usually just go for 7. After that, it's inefficient to stack it. Stacking Tri-Tip Daggers doesn't increase bleed damage, it only increases bleed chance. And yeah, as you can see, we fucking steamroll those bosses. We get 2 items, and we get ETG Missile Launcher. Very, very strong item. 10% chance on hit to fire off a missile. Let's see if we can proc it. We will fire off from our back. I don't remember. I think stacking it only increases damage. We don't want to die here. We're having a decent run. The missiles will fire off randomly whenever we fire at enemies, and they will proc a bleed if they hit, and we have high enough chance, right? So I think we have like 50 or 60 or something along those lines. Maybe even 70% chance to proc a bleed whenever we hit anything now. I'm pretty sure the bleed goes off your character's base damage. However, I'm not sure. I should double check that on the wiki. I don't see any chests around the teleporter here, so we're just gonna go on. We want to push our advantage with levels and items now specifically. Here we are on stage 3. We have 30 seconds to find. There's a, if you get to this stage before 10 minutes, you can unlock a hidden chest. I think it's either up here or up there. Yeah, it's in here. We might be able to get it in time. 2 seconds, 1 second. No! If you get here before 10 minutes, you can unlock that, and it's a challenge, achievement. You get an equipment item that is very good. It's not the best by any means, but it's pretty decent. We probably wanna, even though tri-tip daggers are very strong, I'm gonna say 4 is enough, and we wanna pick up a healing item here. Bustling fungus, not that good on my character. We don't want to stand still too much. As you can see, I'm jumping around a lot, so we're gonna go for the monster tooth necklace. And these orbs heal you for 2% HP, and it scales flat, so it gets 2% more every time you get a new one. I think it's 2% more. We have a couple of tri-shops over here. We know the teleporter is there. You can tell where the teleporter is, by the way, by the red glowing things in the air, or yellow, as you can see there. Normally I would try to stay around it. I mean, we're pretty close here, but since we have tri-shops here, we can select what item we get. I'm gonna take the tri-tip over the topaz brooch there. You should, if you have tri-shops, since you can select your item, they will dictate whether or not it's worth it for you to stay on the stage and farm for them. Generally, I wouldn't say farming for chests is that good. You want to get like 2 or 3 regular chests, regular items per stage. There's a decent chance they're gonna be banned, so you don't want to spend too much time on it. However, since we have 5 tri-tip daggers now and 2 ATG missiles, we're doing pretty good. We have some attack speed, which is good with our bleed stacking too. Yeah, as you can see, we're really, really strong right now. As long as I don't mess up and stand still for too long, and I keep dodging, we should be fine. We get a Hopo Feather, gives us an extra jump. Scales linearly, meaning that every Hopo Feather we get will be 1 extra jump. It might not sound that good, getting damage is more enticing, but you need mobility, as you can tell by me jumping around a lot all the time. It helps you get to harder places, the same with movement speed. Allows you to dodge and allows you to get to chests faster, which will just scale your power. Alright, so we're gonna, since we already killed the boss, we're gonna have a quick look. We're gonna ping this item over here to see what 3D printer it is. Gasoline, not that interesting. I don't want to sacrifice my tri-tip daggers for that. Getting an idea of what items are good or not. You get it from playing, of course, reading about the items, and you also wanna, like, I get a lot of my information from watching Wooly videos. He has a lot of good item guides, item tier lists and such. It's also his idea to basically speedrun the maps to get it as consistent as possible. We can unlock a new character on this stage, actually, my favorite character. We unlocked a bunch of stuff on the different stages we played. I'll go through them and tell you how we unlock them later, because there's so much to go over right now. However, to unlock the character on this stage, we wanna destroy these egg nests, as you can see here. We have a green printer over here, Death Mark, not that good. We'd rather keep our... I don't wanna... It's probably better than the red whip, but I don't wanna risk losing any of our missile launchers. Since the item it will take is random, usually my rule of thumb is if I have more bad items than good items, then I usually print whatever it is. Assuming the item I'm gonna print is good. These birds are very scary, by the way. You wanna kill them early. And we probably, before we destroy all of the nests, destroying the nests will spawn a boss. Killing the boss will give us unlock the character. I'm honestly really happy if we do that this run. I don't really care about getting to the final boss, because I don't think we're gonna be able to kill it without using some of the alternative skills. We want to get like 1 or 2 more items. Alright, this is an adaptive chest. I think they're called adaptive chests. As you can see, it display whenever you unlock it, it displays different items, and whenever you use it again, it will give you the item it displays. It will go faster and faster, and after a while, it will just give you the last item it displayed if you take too long. So you wanna basically just press E as soon as you see a decent item. I picked sticky bombs. Gives us, I think it's a 5% chance whenever you shoot something to attach a sticky bomb, and the sticky bomb will explode, dealing some damage. 180% of your base damage, I think it is. I think the 5% scale linearly. Stacking them won't give you any more damage, it will only increase your chance of applying them, but you can stack several at a time, so getting a couple of them is pretty good. They used to be the best item in the game. They're not anymore because they used to scale with damage. They used to give you more damage whenever you stack them, meaning that stacking a bunch of them would just scale your damage insanely high. Those larger chests will guarantee a green item at least. We got a Gore's Tome. Whenever you kill monsters, there's a chance it will drop a golden nugget, and the golden nugget gives you gold equal to a regular chest of the stage, and it scales with time. So whenever you start a stage, it will give you enough gold to open regular chests, and the longer time you spend on the stage, the more gold it would give you. I want to unlock this chest, and then we're gonna go for the boss. Yeah, we didn't get anything good. That's why I say that you should use your levels and time rather than farming for items too much, because we unlocked two expensive chests and we only got bad items. The tome is kind of good, but it doesn't really help us with the boss fight, does it? We can still unlock chests whenever we're in this fight, so we should just get it going. Whenever you hear a distant whirring down in the chat box, it means you're 1 chest away from, or 1 egg nest from fighting the boss. Ow. We wanna get a little bit of HP before we fight it, probably. Oh, we actually died from that. Ah, that kinda sucks, actually. It was a fire elite, that monster. That jellyfish, and what fire elites does is that they give you a ignite debuff depending on the damage, and the jellyfish deal quite a lot of damage whenever they suicide on you. So yeah, we got pretty much one-shotted from that. That kind of sucks, but we unlocked a bunch of stuff. Let's go through them. We unlocked the Godspeed on Commando. It's a different ability. We unlocked it by just rushing the first stage. I think it's completed within 5 minutes, so this shouldn't be too big of an issue to unlock. We got a logbook. You get these randomly from killing enemies, which will give you information about the enemy in your logbook information page. We unlocked a new item. I can't remember what I did for this. I think this was killing the monster really fast. Or this was. And we unlocked a new character. So let's do one more run. And we're gonna do it on the new character, and then we're gonna call it. I wanna make these episodes about 1 hour at least. So if we die a bunch, we're just gonna restart. Alright, so now we have the hunter. She needs to target in order to shoot. As you can see, whenever you target anything, your left click will just home in on that target. She has very little HP. As you can see, we have like 90 HP. She has a blink, or a teleport, as you can see. That's our utility skill. And our right click is a glaive, which will bounce between enemies. And our special ability, the R button, is a rain of arrows, as you can see there. This is a scrapper. Whenever we actually need items for this. You can basically pick one of your items and turn it into scrap. It turns into a scrap of the same rarity, so a white item will turn into white scrap, green item will turn into green scrap, and so on and so on. And whenever you're on a 3D printer, the 3D printer will prioritize the scrap. We're gonna take this, I guess, and then we're gonna start the boss fight. I don't see any chests around, and I don't want to run around too much. This use item is not gonna be useful for us at the boss at all, so hopefully we don't die too early here, since we don't really have anything that will help us too much. I guess the gasoline will help us a little bit. And strat for this boss is that whenever you're close enough, it won't do the laser. So you wanna, if you only have one stoned item on one of these early stages, the general idea is to stick close to it. As you can see, since we're level 2, we're killing it really fast. And the burning dot, of course, helps a bit. However, we're getting fucked up by the lesser wisps, and there we die. Great, good job. Alright, let's try that again, shall we? This is gonna happen a lot. This is gonna be a common theme. I'm still not very good at stage 1 because I graduated from. I used to pick up few more items on the first stage, which will help you with the first boss. Of course, if you wait with doing the first boss until you have a decent item, you're gonna have an easier time killing the first boss, but the game will start getting really hard as you get to later stages. So it's better overall for you to just do this strat. Try to learn how to kill most of the bosses without any items. My major fault last fight was that I didn't kill the lesser wisps. I should have focused the lesser wisps instead of the boss. It's a bit harder with Huntress because of her auto-target ability. I haven't played her a lot. I usually play a character that we haven't unlocked yet. In fact, I played a character that we would have unlocked on stage 4 if I didn't die. Right, we have 2 items. We are level 2. Let's go fight the boss. We got a banner. Oh yeah, by the way, you can hold tab and then you can mouse over your items if you missed what they said, what they do, in order to read them. Just remember, you can't do it while the game is paused. Where's the portal? Can't see the portal. Did I miss it? I thought it was over here. Oh, it's up there. What's this? Rusted key. That's not a good item to print. I'm gonna open this. The banner puts down, whenever we activate the portal or whenever we level up, it will put down a banner on your character, which stays there for the rest of the stage. It will give you an attack speed and movement speed buff. Oh, we actually have attack speed buff over here. We're gonna print once, see if it takes the... Yep, it takes the stun grenade. The stun grenade just stuns enemies, has a chance to stun them whenever you shoot them. There was a 50-50 there. I want to keep the banner. The banner is strong the first few stages. As you can see, we put down the banner here, and whenever we stay in it, we will get attack speed and movement speed. The Beetle Queen, I usually stay a bit further away from. I find it easier to dodge. the attacks that way. However, we got hit from the Titan there. I probably want to go down here actually. Try to regain some HP. Monsoon makes you regen HP slower. So we're gonna have to stay here a bit longer than if we were playing on a easier difficulty. Oh, I should also say Monsoon, the difference between the different difficulties is the amount of time it takes for the game to get harder. Alright, we've lured most of the mobs down there. And we're dead. I got too close to the boss and it shotgunned us with the attack. The hunter, she's very squishy and she's not very strong the first few stages. She scales very good with items though. She's a bit hard to get used to. That over there is a mute altar. It will force a blue portal. We're not gonna deal with blue altars, blue portals for a bit, unless one naturally spawns. Yeah, so I fucked up by getting hit by the laser last stage. I think it charged the laser on me. I couldn't tell if I had it on me. It was probably blocked by line of sight. Then I jumped out of the line of sight into line of sight the moment it decided to shoot me. Either that or I had the laser on me all the time, but I didn't see it. I'm gonna take the soda here. Gives us more movement speed whenever we sprint. Like I said earlier, movement speed is very strong because it helps you dodge attacks. And this one is only when sprinting. However, Huntress can shoot whenever she's sprinting. We got a challenge of the mountain, so I'm gonna go for this double chest here and hope it actually being good. And yeah, like I said, there's gonna be, since we're only playing on Monsoon and because of this strategy, there's gonna be a lot of deaths on stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, sometimes on stage 4. I prefer this method over having to lean towards a lot of loot luck by stage 4. I'm also forced to play characters I'm not that used to. It's good for me to learn, however, will mean that I die a little bit more often on them. I should probably change my strategy a bit in these try shops to go for items that give me a bit more defensive capabilities, unless I can print bleed again, of course. The health kit we got will give us, that doesn't help us during the boss fight at all. The health kit we got, whenever we take damage we will get a buff. After like 3 seconds it will heal us for 40 HP flat and 5% scales linearly. Because Huntress has so little HP, the 40 flat HP is really strong. As you see, we heal. Actually, it isn't 40 HP flat. That's strange. I'm gonna double check that in the logbook after this run. But since it gives us flat HP heal, it's really pretty strong on the Huntress. As long as you... The only problem with it is that if you take damage again, it will refresh the buff. So you need to dodge damage for a little bit while waiting for the buff to heal you. So as you can see, we took damage there. We have the little healing icon over our XP bar, and there we got the heal. I think it's 2 seconds, maybe 3. It's probably 2. I'm gonna keep putting my rain of arrows down there and focus on trying to kill the lesser wisps as soon as the auto target lets us. I'm gonna try to throw glaives down there too. As soon as the lesser wisp spawns, we wanna target that. We wanna blink away so that we don't get hit by the laser. We got hit by the laser anyway, it didn't deal any damage for some reason. Alright. Might want to jump down here actually, since there's a lot of monsters up there. Let's hope the glaive takes care of the wisps. It did. Let's focus on killing this one. That's out of the way. There we go. Let's go for the other one. Hope the glaive takes out the wisp. It doesn't. We're gonna focus fire it, and then we're just gonna circle this mob. A general strat on the early bosses is to just jump around it in circles and hope for the best. I find that sometimes you get hit. You see that shotgun shot, that attack. Sometimes it hits you whenever you're doing this, when you're too close to the Beetle Queen. So I prefer staying away from it if I can. But we don't really have any line of sight. That's good down here. Alright, we got 2 boss items here. Queen's Plan gives us an add, as you can see, this dude over here and this dude over here. They're decent in the first couple of stages. However, if you're playing a character that doesn't have an auto target, like for example Commando, shooting this Beetle Guard will block the shots. So sometimes it just decides to stand in front of you whenever you're trying to shoot something. I took damage there for no reason. We're gonna go on to the next stage. And these don't scale really well. At about stage 4 or 5 or something like that, they're basically only... I should have picked up the gold. They're basically just meat shields. They draw fire from you. However, another problem with them is that they, if you're playing multiplayer, they will for some reason try to attack your partner. They don't deal any damage to your teammates, but they are annoying, really annoying whenever they do that. As you can see, they deal a lot of damage on this stage, so it's kind of okay we got it early. If we find a scrapper, like we did down there, I think, no. If we find a scrapper, I'm probably gonna remove them just because they're so obnoxious later. And we got an ATG missile MK1, very good. Got a scrapper here. Let's keep them around for a bit since we don't have anything right now. We can, however, scrap the bustling fungus because we're probably never really gonna activate it. There we go. These are Shrines of Chance. You gamble. It costs more and more money every time you activate it, and it has a chance of giving you an item. After you receive 2 items from them, you can't activate them anymore. I would avoid them on the early stages. Early stages meaning stage 1 to 4 or 5. After that, I would say honestly on stage 4 you might wanna start using them if you're, but you wanna open chests first. Alright, we have the portal over here. We have a banner, which it's still kind of early in the game. We still level up a lot, so it's still kind of strong. Then we got an ATD missile, so I'm okay with firing this up. As you can see, chests are locked outside of the red barrier whenever you start the teleporter event. If they're inside the barrier, you can still open them. We wanna try to line of sight this. That was kind of clumsy of me. And now we wanna go close so that he doesn't fire the laser again. We're dealing a lot of damage because of the beetle guards and of the saw blades. There we go. We got death mark. You need to apply 4 debuffs using different items or abilities, and whenever you apply 4 debuffs to a target, you'll see the debuff showing up above their HP bar. Stun is the only icon shown there that isn't a debuff. Of course, if they're elites, that doesn't count either. But for an example, a chrono bubble, an item that slows targets when you hit them, is a debuff. You want 4 different of those, and then you apply you deal more damage to the target. I don't think I've ever activated it. It's new in the 1.0 patch, which was released quite recently. I think it might have gotten out. Actually, it might have been released earlier in the patch before this, but I didn't play the patch before this. So personally, I feel like it's a kind of a bad item. It's very bad to get this early. I don't see any chests around. We're just gonna go to the next stage. Hopefully we get Rally Point Delta. We might be able to reach the chest this time. We have 45 seconds. However, you don't wanna... Yeah, okay, here we go. You don't wanna scrap. You can see these two up here. That means the chest is in there. So we're gonna run for that. The first thing we do. You don't wanna scrap green items usually, because it's kind of rare to get 3D printers of green items, especially 3D print green items that are good. We got the Prion accumulator, which is a very hard-hitting equipment slot item. It will start appearing regularly now too, but you can always open a chest if you get here in the first 10 minutes. The Prion accumulator is very strong. We're probably gonna use it on the boss, or I mean probably we're gonna use it on the boss. We have a tri-tip dagger here, so we're gonna farm for it, because we know that's a useful item. There we go. Right. Okay. Where is the portal? So we spawn here. That means that the portal is, yeah, over there. It's usually just away. Not the furthest point, but a decent way away from where you spawn. So we're just gonna make our way over there, and we're gonna pick up a couple of chests on the way. I can't remember what these are called. Shrine of Combat. They spawn a bunch of enemies, usually elites, whenever you use them. They're good to use early on a stage in order to get gold to open chests. However, we don't really have any chests around here. So I'd rather just start with the boss here. And we're gonna use the Prion accumulator. As you can see, it charges up and fires a really hard-hitting shot. Dealt like a quarter of the HP of the boss. I'm bleeding. I'm almost dead. However, it has longer than almost 2.5 minute cooldown, the Prion accumulator, so that's the main reason why it's not the best item. You can reduce the cooldown of it using other items, but it's you need to stack a lot of them in order for it to like actually be useful. You generally want equipment items with less cooldown. I actually prefer the saw blades, but we needed to unlock this and I wanted to show you it because it's one of the few like consistent items. The only thing that's inconsistent with getting this item is if you don't get this map. Sometimes you get a different stage for stage 3. I'm not sure if we need to unlock that or if we're just lucky. We've gotten this stage a couple of times in a row. And this boss, by the way, it teleports and it throws out these mines, as you can see, or traps, and it also bleeds you whenever it hits you. So you generally wanna stay away from this boss. You don't wanna use the jump around in circles strat on this. You want to clear out lesser wisps. As long as you stay away, you're fine. Oh, we got a blue portal. Let's have a quick look over here. See, we have a couple of drones here. You can unlock these or buy them. They will they become your ally if you repair them and fly next to you and shoot enemies or sometimes seals you. It depends on the drone, honestly. I usually don't bother with them. However, we need to unlock a character by repairing a bunch of those, so I should honestly remember to use them. We're gonna enter the blue portal. Blue portal has a chance to appear sometimes on stages. It will tell you in the chat. As you can see here, a blue portal appears. It will either say that when you start a stage or when you activate one of these that are randomly located around the stage. These costs 1 lunar coin though. In here we're in the Lunar Bazaar. Here you can buy lunar items, these blue items, as you can see. Blue items or lunar items are they are usually kind of strong However, they always come with a defect towards you. So, for an example, this here, I can't remember what it's called, Death Bloom? Life Bloom? The thing it does, it increases your healing by 500%, I do believe, but it makes all healing heal over time, and all of them have different effects like this. This is the Brittle Crown. Whenever you pick this up, you can't remove these easily, by the way. There are ways, but usually you can't get rid of them easily. This Brittle Crown here will make it so that whenever you hit an enemy, you gain gold. However, when you take damage, you lose gold. It depends on your playstyle whether or not they're good for you or not. Also, you can trade in, as you can see here, we can trade in 3 white items for this Chrono Bubble here, or we can trade in 5 green items for the Sermonic Daggers. So we have 2, 3, 4. We only have 4 green items. The ATG missile is kind of decent, but I would say the Ceremonial Daggers are better probably. It's random what item you get here whenever you enter the bazaar. Oh, and also the reason why we want to save lunar coins is this: you unlock a character here by using 10 lunar coins on it. So we want to save the lunar coins for that. I want to check something. Yeah, so whenever you have 1 scrap, I think this is a bug. Whenever you have 1 scrap, it will always take that stack of scrap instead of any other items. So for an example, we needed the time is paused here, by the way. That's why I'm taking time to explain everything. You need 3 random white items for this, or 3 scrap. However, for some reason it's glitched out, so I only had 1 white scrap there. However, it thought I had 3 white scrap and used that to give us the Chrono Bubble. We're gonna use our 5 green items to get the Ceremonial Daggers. Hopefully this will be enough to carry us for a bit. I should have printed, I should have scrapped, for an example, the debuff skull and used that here, but I couldn't have known that we would enter the Blue Bazaar. I would say that's like the only reason why you might want to scrap 1 green item if you're gonna enter the Blue Bazaar. However, this will probably be fixed next patch, so you should keep an eye out for that. I'll, of course, if we get to that patch, I'll explain that in that episode. Alright, we're on Sion's Call again. We're gonna go for the boss fight again. I probably won't be able to do it. This is a lunar pod. This will give us a blue item, random blue item for 1 lunar coin. We're saving lunar coins, so we're not gonna use it. Ceremonial Daggers. Whenever we kill enemies, it will spawn 3 heat-seeking daggers. They will seek out enemies and attack them. These daggers will put on different chance and hit effects we have. So for an example, bleed or sticky bombs, if we have them, it could apply those. It could also proc our missiles if we still had the ATG missile launcher. Okay, so we want to get a few items before we fight the boss. Oh yeah, by stage 4 the game is gonna start spawning bosses as regular monsters. So for an example, this magma worm we have shaking our screen here is one of those. We wanna lightly focus it, but it's not a high priority. The magma worms are kind of scary whenever they're close, but as long as you try to stay away from it, it's fine. It only deals melee attacks. Another thing I should mention is that you take fall damage. However, if you're using your movement skill, or if you're using a double jump from Hoop with Feather, you will reset the fall damage. I should probably prey on the worm. Let's see if we can hit it. The prey on is really hard to aim, especially on monsters like worms, which will burrow. Got a lunar coin there. I'm gonna be sure to pick that up. wanna try to focus these. We got a cautious slug. Whenever we're out of combat, it's gonna heal us some flat HP. I can't remember. I think it's 3 HP per second flat. I don't know how it scales. We should check that after this run. This will be the final run, by the way. After this, we're gonna end the episode, and we're gonna look over the logbook a bit before I start the next one. Oh yeah, on stage 4 and 5, all the tri-shops will always be green items. Got a stealth kit here. Whenever we take a huge chunk of damage, we will turn invisible. So the monsters won't be able to target us. So for an example, when we activate this, I think that should make us invisible. It's hard to tell. That was kind of risky. I really want to kill these birds. Ow. I'm playing too close to the worm. I really want to find more attack speed. We want bleed, preferably. I see a diamond chest over there. Oh yeah, some of the chests look different. Like this one is red, for an example. They cost a little bit more, but they will give you an item based on the color. So if it's a green one with a health plus sign, it will give you some kind of defensive or healing item. If it's purple, it's gonna give you an utility item, so stuff like movement speed, etc. And if it's red like this, it's gonna give you a damage item. Regular chests can drop green items. It's decently rare. We got Razor Wire there. Whenever we take damage, we're gonna start dealing a bunch of damage close by. That's kind of bad actually, because I think that removes our stealth kit. I'm not sure though. A lot of item synergies. I don't really know, to be honest. I'm gonna try to be sure to look them up. If you do know, by the way, I would love it if you just write it in a comment. If I like find out stuff post, I'm gonna try to remember to put it in the description, but I'm gonna be recording this in bulk, so it's gonna be kind of hard for me to keep track of that. I'm just gonna farm for this chest here, then we're gonna spawn the boss. There's a decent chance we're not gonna make it. Oh, we got a ukulele. Am I gonna die? I'm dead. I'm dead. Yeah, I died. Okay, I died the same way again. I stuck too close to the worm. Okay. Die 5 times. Oh, there we go. Alright, so as a rule of thumb, I need to. I'm so used to playing another character. I played the one character that we unlock on that stage a lot, and that character is a lot more forgiving. Once we unlock it, you're gonna see why my playstyle is the way it is. Generally, you just wanna try to like keep away a lot more, finish off the smaller monsters, get more gold, open more chests. On the later stages, stage 4 and 5, you wanna focus a bit more on opening chests. You wanna go for like 4 or 5 chests at least before going to the boss encounter. And also, the reason why you want to do that on stage 4 and 5 and not earlier is because of the tri-shops being green. It's a lot easier to find good items. And there's more chests and more monsters spawn earlier. You get gold easier in the later stages. So you just want to be strong by having a decent level and having like 1 or 2 or maybe 3 good items by the time you're on stage 4 and 5. And then you want to be like farming a bit. You don't want to spend too long still, because it still scales with difficulty. However, it's at this point you want to start to get towards the items carrying you rather than your level. Of course, if you find a printer of a good item earlier, then you should focus a bit more on that. Like if you find on stage 1, you find a really good printer, for an example, a tri-chip dagger printer, then you probably want to clean stage 1 and try to get 6 or 7 tri-chip daggers. Oh, okay. We're just gonna go through the items real quick. There was one item I didn't know. Alright. I think this is linear. stacking soldier cinch. I think it's 15 plus 15%. There is a formula for some of the items which decreases the amount of percent it gets whenever you get more of them. We haven't really gotten one of those items yet. We didn't ever pick up a Topaz Brooch, I think. I should probably explain what this does. Whenever you kill anything, you gain a barrier for 15 plus 15 health. Flat stacking. One key thing about the Topaz Brooch, if we go to a character like, for example, Hunter, and we go to the loadout, the special ability that we can unlock here, Piercing Wind, what we need to do is complete Rally Point Delta or Scorch Acres. That's stage 3, but you can do it in loops too, so stage 3, stage 6, stage 9. Wait, no. That's not true. Stage 3, and then stage... yeah, whatever. Whenever you're on Scorch Acres or Rally Point Delta, it's stage 3 in the first loop. Loop goes to stage 5, by the way. Then it starts stage 6 is the same stage as stage 1, just harder, you know. You want to complete this without falling below 100% HP. The barrier that Topaz Brooch gives you actually doesn't count. If you take hit while you have Topaz Brooch and it doesn't go below, you only lose the barrier, you don't lose your HP. This will still count. So if you want to unlock this ability, which you kind of want to do, by the way, it's really strong. You want to try to stack brooches is the easiest way, unless you're just a fucking god gamer and can dodge every single attack. I'm clearly not, as you could tell. Okay, that's gonna be it for episode 1. A lot of info to go over, still a lot of things to talk about, which is good, because I don't want to be quiet. I'm a bit rambly. If there's any questions, ask them in the comments. I'll answer every single comment, I promise you this. And if it's anything unclear, either ask in the comments or look up on the wiki, it will tell you how the items work. I would also highly recommend checking out Wooly on YouTube. He has a lot of good character guides and in particular he has item tier lists. If you don't want to get it spoiled, that's fine. However, if you're fine with getting it spoiled, he goes through every single item in the game and explains why they're good, why they're bad, on what character specifically an item is good, etc, etc. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.